now to discuss this is Jefferson Morley, editor of the blog JFK Facts and author of several books on the CIA. Thanks for giving us some time. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, just the basic street level question here. If Congress said release it all and President Biden is saying, okay, here's 99% of it, I'm keeping 1% behind, it only continues to fuel the many conspiracy theories and suspicions that people have about why that day back in '63 happened and why JFK was killed. What is the rationale here and what's in that 1%?
The CIA is mostly behind this, and what they don't want to talk about is a document which just came out, which revealed that the CIA was reading Lee Harvey Oswald's mail for 20 months before President Kennedy was assassinated. Never been reported. The New York Times reported this on Monday. It's never been in the Times before. And what it shows, I believe, is that the CIA, someone at the CIA, was running an operation involving Oswald before the assassination. It took the CIA 61 years to disclose the name of the man who was involved in this. And the reason they withheld the name was not because the man was alive and his identity might be endangered. The man died 30 years ago. The reason they withheld the name is because the operational activity, reading Lee Harvey Oswald's mail, is so sensitive. The CIA did not make a comment to the New York Times, which is understandable. They don't comment on operations. So what we have here is really a bombshell revelation. And we still don't have a good explanation of what was going on. We do know, like you said, that they're still holding some 4,000 documents back. So it stands to reason that there might be more information about the surveillance of Oswald in those records.
And what information are you hoping to learn in those documents that were not released? You mentioned the man whose name was recently revealed. Has been dead for many years now, this man that they released. What is it that you're hoping to learn about him? Do you believe that there is a smoking gun missing from those documents?
You know, no investigative reporter goes looking for a smoking gun, but this is a highly significant piece of evidence. You know, most people did not know that the CIA was reading Lee Harvey Oswald's mail. The CIA did not tell the investigators, the multiple investigations of Kennedy's assassination, that they were reading his mail. So we don't really have a good explanation. Were they incompetent when it came to the assassination? Were they complicit? We need to know more about this operation involving Oswald before the assassination. And it's not up to researchers or the public to generate some conspiracy theory. It's up to the CIA to hold itself accountable.
Well, I think you just touched on the thing, I think the heart of it. Incompetent or complicit. That's really it. If you're tracking this guy who goes on to shoot the president, that's a dropping of the ball of epic and history altering proportions. And if you somehow were complicit, that's even more chilling. It's devastating either way.
And think about it. They didn't release the man's name for 60 years. You know, they don't want to talk about this because it's an operation and they don't want to get into. You know, the Times wouldn't give any comment. You know, they don't want to talk about this. They just move along. They're saying, pay no attention to this. Well, it's a shocking revelation. They were reading his mail. They had insight into his personal thinking. You know, what's going on here? And what we get from the CIA is radio silence. We're going to keep a bunch more documents secret and trust us. Okay? That's not very credible.
And is the credibility the main point for you, that you would like to learn this information because you're concerned with the credibility, or is there any national security issues that you're actually concerned about? I know you're involved with a lawsuit regarding the redaction of these documents. What is your hopes? Where does it stand now?
I mean, we want a common sense position that everybody can agree on. The government should come clean, fully. They should release all the documents now. You know, the CIA doesn't want to do that, not because of national security, but because this is a highly embarrassing situation that they don't want to talk about. You are reading the mail of the man who supposedly killed the president of the United States? Please explain. And the CIA won't say anything. That's a good sign, a reliable sign that there was an operation going on here that has never been disclosed.
And let me ask you this, though, quite frankly, and it's a tough question, but I think it's fair. It's been all these years later. Why would they be afraid of releasing the documents? Because, quite frankly, in the aftermath of 9/11 and the Capitol insurrection, we're pretty used to spectacular intelligence community failures in this country.
That's a very good question. President Biden correctly ordered the release of all the 9/11 documents, saying 20 years has passed. We can be fully accountable and transparent on this. But on the Kennedy assassination, 60 years later, the CIA is still insisting on secrecy. That's suspicious, and we need an explanation for it.
Do you think Oswald acted alone?
I think, like President Johnson, President Truman, and President Nixon, that President Kennedy was killed by his enemies, who had the ability to make the crime look like something else. That's what we're looking at potentially here. So let's get the whole story.
All right, Jefferson Morley, JFK Facts blogger, author, editor, and historian. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.